Hello, everyone. Welcome to a public information meeting. This is a planning application for a development agreement to permit the expansion of an established home-based business beyond the size limit permitted as of right currently. The applicant is Acadia Roofing and the file number is 21-24. I am Councillor Meisner, representative for District 2, which is where this application is located. We are recording an online public information meeting with a 30-day commenting period for neighbors and community members to ask questions and provide any comments that they may have in regards to this application. Today we have planning staff with us, Will Robertson Mushcat, who is the planner on the file, and Will is going to give us a presentation on this application.
Thank you very much, Councillor Meisner. As the councillor mentioned, this is a public information meeting for a development agreement application pertaining to a property located at 85 Middle Dyke Road in North Kentville. The purpose of the meeting is as follows. It is to inform the public of the application at hand. It is to explain the planning policies that enable this application to occur. It is to receive preliminary feedback from members of the public. Please note that no opinions have been formed on the application at this time and no decisions pertaining to the application have been made. Background and proposal is as follows. Acadia Roofing operates at 85 Middle Dyke Road in North Kentville. And the property serves as both the dwelling of the business owner and the hub of operations for the business, which provides contracting and trade services throughout the Annapolis Valley and in the wider area. Now, the size of the home-based business makes it ineligible to be permitted as of right in the underlying zoning. However, the municipal planning strategy policies enable council to consider the application via a development agreement. What is a development agreement? A development agreement is a legal contract between municipal council and a property owner. It restricts the developer to the use or types of uses outlined in the development agreement. And a development agreement allows council to exercise more specific control over not only the type of use or uses, but over the character, form, and maintenance of the development. And finally, it runs with the land. That is, the conditions do not cease if the land changes ownership, only if the development agreement is discharged. This is a map of the municipality of the County of Kings. And you'll note an orange circle there, which indicates the approximate location of the property within the municipal boundaries. This is an aerial photograph of the subject property, which is outlined in red. So the subject property is an irregularly shaped parcel. It is approximately 9.5 acres in total area, and it features approximately 480 feet of frontage on Middle Dyke Road with 2 access points, one for the residential dwelling and the other for the commercial operations. You'll note that it's in an area kind of nestled in between a variety of housing densities, and it's on the edge of the growth center for North Kentville as well. So this is a zoning map for the subject property. So you'll note that the subject property features split zoning. A portion of it is zoned R3, which is the residential mixed density zone, while another portion to the north is zoned R4, or residential multi-unit. And there's a variety of residential dwellings located to the south, west, and north of the subject property. The residential 1 and 2 unit zone, the residential mixed density zone, and as well the residential multi-unit zone. So a subject property, and certainly the area within the North Kentville area, is intended for residential uses of a variety of densities, whereas on the opposite side of Middle Dyke Road, it is zoned for agricultural uses. My apologies. This is a future land use map of the subject property in the surrounding area. So following along with the preceding zoning map, you'll note that the subject property and all of the surrounding properties to the south, north, and west are designated residential or residential land uses, whereas the properties to the east on the opposite side of Middle Dyke Road are designated for agricultural uses. This is a site plan for the subject property. So you'll note here is Civic number 85, which is the dwelling of the business owner, and as well contains offices for the business, Acadia Roofing. There's a garage on the subject property as well, which is used primarily for storage of equipment related to the business and any type of kind of manufacturing related to the business, which would occur on site. There's a number of gravel parking areas as well for storage of equipment, and being a roofing business primarily, much of the actual activity for the business occurs off-site at various sites where the business is conducting work on roofs and other trade components. This is a photograph of the garage. You can note that on the right-hand side. And in the background of this photograph is the dwelling, which also contains the offices for the business. This is a photograph taken kind of same position, but looking in the opposite direction. This is looking northward in the main parking area. So again, you'll notice some trailers there that are used for taking materials to and from various job sites. This is again a photograph looking more to the western direction from that main parking area. And again, some of the equipment being stored on site to take materials to job sites. This is a front-on view of that garage that's used for, manufacturing components to be brought to various job sites for the business. This is a photograph of the commercial entrance to the site. So this is more northward on the site, looking over at Middle Dyke Road. You'll notice an apple orchard on the opposite side of the street, the agricultural area. This is a photograph taken roughly the same position, but looking westward. So you'll notice the garage in the background, as well as a small shed. And this is leading directly from that commercial access point onto the site in that main parking area. With regard to the specific policies that enable Council to consider this application, Municipal Planning Strategy Policy 2.5.7 states, consider only by development agreement in all zones that permit residential development, new or expanded home-based businesses, uses not considered to be a home-based business, or expansions to established home-based businesses beyond the size limits permitted as of right, provided the proposal is for a use that will not unduly impact the neighborhood due to noise, fumes, traffic volumes, parking, and other potential hazards. B, continues to be limited to a scope, scale, and design that is compatible with surrounding residential uses. And C, meets the general development agreement requirements set out in section 5.3. So in this particular case, we're looking at a business that is within a residential area, designated residential, and is expanded beyond the size limits permitted as of right. So staff would look at these policies in evaluating the development agreement. And pertaining to C, meet the general development agreement requirements set in section 5.3, they are as follows. Proposal is in keeping with the intent of the municipal planning strategy, that there's no undue financial impact on the municipality, that the surrounding land uses are compatible with the proposed use, that when applicable, there is adequate supply and relative close proximity of school, recreation, and community facilities, that there would be no undue creation of traffic hazards or congestion, adequate fire protection and services, adequate sewer and stormwater services for the proposed use, that there would be no undue potential for flooding or drainage issues, that there would be no undue impact on well fields or other groundwater supplies when applicable, that there would be no undue opportunity for pollution such as soil erosion or siltation of watercourses. When applicable, no negative impacts on lake water quality or wetlands. And when applicable, no negative impacts on neighboring farming operations. So these are the criteria that staff use to evaluate all planning applications when they come before council for considering a development agreement or amendment to the land use bylaw as permitted to be considered by council via the policies in the MPS. Oh, and excuse me, sorry, finally, that the site is suitable in terms of grades, soil, geological conditions, location of watercourses, marshes, bogs, swamps, and proximity to utility right-of-ways. With regard to the process for a development agreement, the completed application has been received by the municipality, and we are at the step 2 of the process highlighted in red, the virtual public information meeting. Properties will be notified via letter mail, provided they're in 500 feet of the subject property of the planning application at hand, and it will be advertised in the Valley Journal Advertiser as well. Upon completion of the PIM recording, staff will complete a review of the of the application at hand and draft a report that would then go to the Planning Advisory Committee. The Planning Advisory Committee will review and provide a recommendation to council pertaining to the development agreement application. This would then go to initial consideration by council, where a public hearing would be scheduled. It would then be followed by a public hearing, and a public hearing would again provide an opportunity for the public to comment on the final draft, so to speak, of the development agreement. Properties, again, within 500 feet of the subject property would be notified via letter mail of the public hearing, and the public hearing would be advertised twice in the local newspaper leading up to the date of the hearing. Upon completion of the public hearing, final consideration would occur, where council would vote to approve or deny the development agreement as drafted. And finally, there is a 14-day appeal period of council's decision to the Utility and Review Board of the Province of Nova Scotia, as mandated by the Municipal Government Act. And with that, I will provide my contact information for any questions or comments by members of the public. You can reach me at phone by calling 902-690-6173 or via email at wrobinson-mushcat@countyofkings.ca or submit questions via the municipality's webpage, www.countyofkings.ca/planning. And that concludes my portion of this presentation. I will turn it over to you, Councillor Meisner.
Thank you so much for that presentation and the information, Mr. Robertson-Mushcat. This public comments and questions will be open to the public for a period of 30 days. It allows members of the public an opportunity to ask the planner or the applicant any questions or provide comments on the proposal. When you are making comments or submitting questions, when you're calling, we ask that members of the public provide their name and civic address, and also the file number on the application. The planner is available also to receive any further comments or questions regarding this proposal. As you can see, Mr. Robertson-Mushcat's information is there, and you can also visit our website if you have any further questions. With that, I will close our meeting for this public information period. Thank you.